President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa's reputation on the line following the release of the parliamentary Section 89 panel's report on the Phala saga? Some have been calling for his head, while others say he should continue to fight and remain in power. Ramaphosa, for his part, is insisting he's done nothing wrong after money, foreign exchange, was allegedly stolen from his Phala farm in Limpopo. Now, he's decided to take the panel's report on review in the Constitutional Court. So what does this all mean for Ramaphosa? For example, we're asking this afternoon, has all of this damaged his reputation as a leader? Let's discuss this now with brand and reputation specialist Solly Moeng, who's joining us now virtually. Solly, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. I guess you've been unpacking this for a few days. Where's the reputation and the image? What's happening to it, to the president who came on here in 2018 on a New Dawn ticket, on an anti-corruption ticket? Now he's facing this big question mark about his own private affairs and how they are bordering on some serious violations, according to the panel. What has this done to his reputation?
Hello, Dan. Thank you, and hello to your listeners, to your audience out there. Look, Ramaphosa's image has been hurting from almost day one. I mean, the Ramaphoria ended. It took a bit of time to end when people started saying, but this man has no backbone. He doesn't take the kind of decision that he must take. There are people who've been saying all sorts of things in his presence, or in his presence as leader of the ANC, and many of them got away with stuff. I mean, now he has even cabinet ministers who are supposed to be serving at the pleasure of the president, who are saying things about him, who are asking him to leave, who are questioning his leadership credentials, as it were. So, of course, Ramaphosa's image is tarnished. This thing has not helped him. He's not a victim. You try and do exactly what Ramaphosa did and see if law enforcement will leave you alone. They will not leave you alone. The thing is, this whole thing has become so politicized. Now Ramaphosa has decided to go the Stalingrad route, right? We could pursue this in the courts forever while he remains in power. But the fact of the matter is he was sold as the last hope for South Africa by people with Sasapo. That last hope for South Africa has dimmed. If it was a line, it has become dim. People don't see anymore through this. And the thing is, it's South Africa that's being held hostage by the political events in the African National Congress.
Yeah, managing a crisis like this, no matter what they call it, they say it's a crisis for him. Okay, let's not say it's a crisis for us. It's a crisis for him and, of course, his party, because he's the leader of the party. Managing a crisis is a reputational issue. I get the sense that despite the former President Thabo Mbeki asking ANC members a few weeks ago, what will we do, what will happen if the Parliament finds that Ramaphosa may have a case to answer to, it seemed like they didn't have a, let's call it a crisis management plan in order what they would do, because suddenly they're having this special meeting, the meetings they've been having over the weekend and today.
Well, I mean, first of all, it is a crisis for us. He's the president and the leader or CEO of South Africa Inc. The crisis in the ANC hurts South Africa. A crisis is when a person, a company, an institution, a brand is not able to continue its everyday duties. Ramaphosa is not able to be the president he must be, because he's having to be paying attention to this. So it's a crisis for the ANC, it's a crisis for Ramaphosa, it's a crisis for us. The ANC has not had a reputation or a crisis management plan for years. They keep trying the same things over and over again and hope for different outcomes. I see now people who are saying, hey, it's okay, let it go to the parliament, we will vote in support of him, we have the numbers. So it's no longer about the merits of what this man is being accused of having done. It's all about, we have the numbers to save him. Of course they will save him. The ANC still has the numbers in the National Assembly. They can save anything. If they wanted to bring the brutal dictator in South Africa and it goes to a vote in parliament, the ANC will support it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not only about the ethics, it's not only about what's good for the country, it's about what's good for the ANC. And I keep saying, what is good for the ANC is no longer good for South Africa. What's good for South Africa is no longer good for the ANC.
Yeah, and I guess it is a crisis generally. I think you're right there, because last week when the news broke, we saw the rand plummeting against the US dollar. The markets have somewhat recovered. Apparently today, due to the fact that the market has liked the news I'm saying apparently the market has liked the news that he's taking this on review because they are feeling that there's a bit of stability. But can he ever recover from this? I'm thinking if he survives this and he gets re-elected by the 20th of December at the ANC's 55th National Conference as still the president, can he ever recover from this?
No, he will not recover because he has been very dodgy with the truth in responding. He has managed this whole thing wrongly from the beginning. Anyone who talks reputation management will tell you that you need to admit the truth right from the start. Say, okay, guys, this is what happened. It shouldn't have happened. This is how it came to be. These are the measures I'm going to put in place to make sure it doesn't happen again. He doesn't do that. He's been dodging, same way as Zuma. He has not been wanting to respond to questions about this thing. So it's really hurting his image, and a lot of people who really wanted this man to be that last hope for South Africa have lost hope. Even people who funded him in 2017 are beginning to say, damn, we put money in the wrong person here. So he's no longer good for South Africa. But the truth of the matter is, Ramaphosa is the slightly nicer face of the ANC. The whole ANC, whether it's led by Ramaphosa or somebody else, is hurting South Africa. And the market shouldn't be a benchmarker for what's good for South Africa. Big business has helped, supported dictates and wrong governments all over the world. As long as they can make a bit of money out of it, they don't care about human rights. So the fact that the markets are slightly recovering doesn't mean that it's a good thing for South Africa. If the markets think they can still make money out of under Ramaphosa, they will do so irrespective of what the ANC that Ramaphosa is leading is doing to South Africa, and that is a big problem. So the ethics, the issue of public interest is not a consideration for the markets for big business, and that is a big problem.
Yeah, and I mean, reputation is just like that. So the ANC NEC currently is meeting. You and I are not there. We have a reporter on the ground. He's also not inside. So we're speculating about what kind of tactics they would adopt. But you've already mentioned one of them in answering one of the other questions, Solly, is that they're going to use their numbers in Parliament to block any progress into further inquiry. And that's what they would be relying on. Now, that's a tactic you can use, but it doesn't do good for your image and your reputation when you stand on platforms and says you are against corruption.
Of course, and the Speaker of Parliament has refused a vote, a confidential vote, as it were. I support her and I don't support her. The truth of the matter is,
the secret ballot. The secret ballot.
Yeah,
she said there'll be no secret ballot. Yes.
Yeah. But the thing is, ANC representatives, because they are not public representatives, ANC representatives in Parliament, in the National Assembly, must stand up when it's not good for South Africa. They must say, I'm raising my voice, my hand, irrespective of what the consequences there will be for me. So they shouldn't rely on a secret ballot, on a secret vote, in order to say this is not good for South Africa. So they want to say, yes, it's wrong, but hide, not be seen to be saying so. And that is exactly what is the problem with South Africa. People who see wrong and who don't stand up. And of course, we know about whistleblowers and others who see wrong, they stand up. There are consequences. There are no doubt about it.
Yeah, I saw a comment, Solly. I would want your insight on that. Somebody saying, no, but it was his money. It's not public money that was stashed allegedly under those cushions and stuff in Phala Phala Farm. So why are we making such a big hullabaloo? It's a private matter. It's his business. It's his money.
Well, then try and bring $10 or $100 million through the borders of the country in foreign currency without declaring it to immigration officials and see if there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? The fact of the matter is there are still questions about whether SARS has established whether taxes that were supposed to be paid on that money have been paid to the central revenue system or not. And I think it's a key question to know. Was it okay to bring that kind of cash through the country without declaring it? We all know it's wrong. Whether you're Ramaphosa or Solly Moeng or Demoyane, it's just wrong. There's something that needs to be done about it. And there are also accusations against the president not working for his company, making key executive decisions in his private company while he's the president of the republic. We know that the rules do not allow that to happen. You can't not talk about that.
Yeah, you say he's a nicer face of the current ANC leadership lot. You say he cannot recover from this. What would you advise him to do?
You know, I try never to look at South African issues from the perspective of the ANC, otherwise we get lost in that murky, muddy world of the African National Congress. I think that for the sake of South Africa, he must go because he no longer represents the ideal leader of the Republic of South Africa. And I think South Africa must accept that this is probably the moment to take the bitter pill so that we can get, sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. The ANC, let it split, let them fight against one another, but let the people of South Africa save South Africa from the mess. We can't always be defining South Africa on the basis of what's going on in the ANC. It's not good for the country.
Thank you very much for your time and insights as usual here on Today on eNCA. Solly Moeng, he's a brand and reputation specialist. Now, still